Hello everyone. So in our previous video we saw a demonstration via an animation that how we can put a key value pair in a hash table using the separate chaining collision resolution technique. So in this video we will see the code for that and we will see its demonstration step by step with an animation. So friends, before we start, in case if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you never miss any update. So when we create the instance of hash table, this is what we discussed, that at the start what happens, that all the hash nodes on each index points to null. So which means that on each index we have a list of nodes and the starting node is basically our head, which is being pointing to null. And here you can see when we start, as we are providing the capacity of 10, it means we are creating the array of hash nodes with a length as 10, which is nothing but our number of buckets, and size as 0. So let's say if we want to put a key and a value as 105 and John. So we call the put method. We take key as 105 and value as John. So in our previous video we discussed the idea that how we can insert this key value pair. There are many use cases which we will be seeing later. So each use case at the start, what we do is we take the key and we pass it to our hash function, which gives us an index, and we take that index and we try to insert the key value pair in the form of hash node into this buckets array. So here you can see the get bucket index method is nothing but our hash function. So here we are using the modular hash function where we are taking the key, we are dividing it by number of buckets, and whatever is the remainder we are returning it from this method, which would be nothing but our bucket index. So when we pass 105 as key and if we divide 105 by 10, then we get 5 as the remainder. So the bucket index is 5. Now what we do is we try to access the hash node at this bucket index, so which is 5. So here you can see it points to a hash node having value as null. So here you can see it is referring to a null value. So it means at this index there are no hash nodes. So we can directly insert this key value pair. And as the starting node is pointing to null, we are creating a hash node by name head, which points to the first node at this index, which would be null. So head is pointing to null. So friends, here you can see that on each index there can be multiple hash nodes which are connected via the next reference which hash node has. And when we discussed singly linked list, we saw that the starting node is head. So here we are simply referring head as the starting node of the singly linked list, which will be formed by the chain of hash nodes. So here why we need this head is because in this while loop, at this particular index there could be a possibility that let's say there are many nodes. So in this while loop we are checking that whether the key is already present or not. So here you can see as head is pointing to null, it means that this key value pair is not present. So we exit from the while loop, and as key value pair is not present, we can simply add this key value pair in the form of hash node. So first we increment the size. So now size become 1. And now here you can see that let's suppose at this index there could have been multiple nodes connected via next reference. So in this while loop there is a possibility that head might travel to some of the nodes to check whether the key is present or not. So after this while loop we bring back head to the first node by again assigning the hash node at bucket index. So head will again point to null. And now as we want to insert the node, so first we create the hash node with key value pair which we want to insert. So it would look something like this. Key is 105, value is John, and its next is pointing to null, and it is being referred by node. Now as we want to insert this node at the beginning of the list which is starting from head, what we do is we simply assign the value of head to node next, because we want to insert this node just before the head, which would be the beginning of the list. So node next should point to head. So we are simply assigning value head to nodes next. So currently node next is already pointing to null. And now as we want to insert this hash node in this buckets array, so at this index, whatever the reference would be, we simply assign it to the node. So at the bucket index, we are simply assigning the value of node. So it would look something like this, as node is pointing to this node. Now this hash node will point to the node which we want to insert. So here you can see that we have inserted one hash node, and from now onwards there would be multiple hash nodes on this index in case some collision will occur. So let's put one more key value pair where key is 21 and value is Tom. So size is already 1, key is 21, value is Tom. We first calculate the bucket index from our hash function. So when we'll call get bucket index, we pass in the key. So 21 when divided by 10 will give remainder as 1. So the bucket index will become 1. So now what we do is we simply try to access the hash node at this bucket index. So when we call buckets and we pass bucket index as 1, we are accessing this value. So here you can see that the hash node which it refers is null. So it means that there are no nodes in this list here. So head will point to null. Now we will simply check whether 21 is present in list of nodes at this index or not. So currently its head is pointing to null. This condition in while loop will come out to be false. And we know that this key value pair is not present. So we'll simply increase the size by 1 because now we are simply adding key value pair into this buckets array. So size becomes 2. And we already discussed that head might travel in this while loop to some of the nodes to simply compare whether 21 is present or not. So we simply bring back head to the starting of the list by again assigning the hash node at bucket index. So head will again point to null. We'll create the hash node with key as 21, value as Tom, and next pointing to null. And as we want to insert this node at the beginning of the list, first we assign the value of head to nodes next. So head is pointing to null. So here node next will point to null. And then we will simply add node into this bucket array by assigning the value of node at the bucket index. So it would look something like this. That now it will point to the node which we want to insert. So friends, here you can see that we have added 2 nodes now. Now let's say we want to add one more key value pair where key is 31 and value is Sana. So this is the case where we will actually see the collision and we will see the importance of this next reference. So key is 31 and value is Sana. We calculate the bucket index. 31 divided by 10 will give remainder as 1. So bucket index will become 1. We will access the hash node at this bucket index, which is at index 1. And to whichever node it is pointing, our head will point to that node because that would be our starting of this list. So head will point to this node. So now we'll see that whether 31 is present in this list of nodes or not, which is at this index. So currently you see head is not equal to null. So there could be a possibility that this key and value might exist already in the buckets array. So in the while loop we check whether head dot key, which is 21, is equal to 31 or not, which is the key which we want to insert. So this condition comes out to be false because 21 is not equal to 31. It means this key value pair is not present for this node. So what we do is we simply traverse head to its next node, because there could be possibility that this list can contain, let's say, n number of nodes. So we have to compare the keys for this n number of nodes by traversing head 1 position with each iteration. So we simply assign head.next value to head. So head.next is pointing to null, so now head will point to null. We check whether head is equal to null or not. So head is equal to null, so this condition comes out to be false, which signifies that this key value pair is not present in this buckets array. So we can safely insert a key value pair. So this condition comes out to be false and while loop will terminate. So rest of the steps remains the same. As we are now inserting this key value pair, we will increment size by 1. So size will become 3. And here you can see that head has already traversed into this list of nodes. So we again bring back head to the starting point of the list by again assigning the hash node at bucket index, which is our first hash node. So it would look something like this. Head comes back to the first position. And why we are bringing head to the first position is because we are trying to insert this key value pair in the form of hash node at the beginning of the list. So we usually need the head for that, which is nothing but our first hash node of the list. So here we are simply creating the node with key value pair. So keys 31 value is Sana and its next is pointing to null, which is being referred by node. And now as we want to insert this node at the beginning of the list, which means let's say there are n number of nodes already here, and if we insert this node, our node should come before head, which is having key as 21. So the node having key as 31 should insert before the node having key as 21, which is nothing but our head. So what we do is we can't directly break this link and assign it to our node, because if we break this link, this chain will go away. So first we need to hold this chain. So how we can hold this chain is we assign the value of head to nodes next, because we want to insert this node before the head. So node next should point to head. So after this assignment, it would look something like this. That node next is pointing to a node to which head is pointing. And then we can simply break this link and assign it to our newly created node. So it would look something like this. This link will go away and there will be a link from this index to the hash node which we want to insert. So if we rearrange this structure, it would look something like this. That the node which we want to insert is at the beginning of this list, which is just before our old head. So friends, now let's see one last use case where the key is already present. So here you can see if we put key as 21 and let's say value as Mary. So here if the key is already present, we don't put the key value pair in the buckets array, we simply update the value, and that we do with the help of this while loop. So let's see how. Key is 21, value is Mary. The bucket index will come out to be 1 because 21 divided by 10 will give remainder as 1. So bucket index is 1. So we simply access the hash node at this bucket index, which would be nothing but our head. So head will point to this node. We check whether head is equal to null or not. So here you can see currently head is not equal to null. So in the while loop, we simply check whether key 21 is already present or not. So that is done via this if condition. We simply check head.key is equals our key or not. So 31 is not equal to 21. So this condition comes out to be false. And we simply traverse head to its next node by assigning head.next to head. So via this reference, head has traveled to its next node, because we want to compare each and every key present at this index with our key, because there could be a possibility that 21 is already present in this list. So after this assignment, we again check whether head is equal to null or not. So we encounter one more hash node. So head is not equal to null. But now here you can see head dot key is 21. It is equal to our key 21. So this condition comes out to be true, which means that key is already present in our buckets array. So we don't increment size here. What we do is we simply assign the value as Mary to head dot value. So head dot value is Tom, which will be updated by Mary. So here we are simply updating the value with the recent value. Old value is discarded and the size of the hash table remains the same because key is already present. And after updating the value, we simply return from this method. So friends, here you can see that we saw various use cases that how we can insert a key value pair in the form of hash node in a hash table. We saw that how we can add a key value pair. We also saw that how we can update a key value pair. We also saw that what happens when there is a collision. And we also saw the importance of our hash function, that it can take a large key and provide us with a small index so that we can add this key value structure into this buckets array. So friends, I hope you must have find this information useful. And in case if you have find this information useful, then please like this video. And if you are new to my channel, then please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so that you never miss any update. Thanks, have a nice day.